Thank you so much for hopping on, talking to me. I'm so excited to speak with you. I remember when I first saw your content, I was so excited to see it because I've never seen people like us in this space. You know what I mean? And when I saw you, the first thing was, I was like, "Oh my god, she can really, really sing." You know what I mean? Like in this children's uh, entertainment YouTube content creator space. I'm sorry, but people can't really sing for real. You know
Mm,
what I mean? So to see you doing your thing and educating kids and just using your gifts and your talents to do so is just so cool to see. And like I started this show because I believe that we are more than what made us. Like I come from a place where statistically I wasn't supposed to make it out and have the life that I live now. So I
mhm.
love speaking with people who are out in the world making sure that kids or young adults or even adults can realize that they are more than what made them. So thank you so much for the work that you do. And I'm so excited to speak with you today. Um, but I really, really want to start from the beginning. Like, when did I know? So I know that you were a teacher before you started Juna B. So where did that whole thing start for you? Even before the teaching, where did music, the love for music come for you? Was that the first thing that started everything?
So you know what? It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's
Okay.
a funny story. When I was younger, I actually couldn't sing at all. I would try to sing. I think I had like these dreams and visions of singing. I remember a
Hmm.
time I was singing at home when I was a kid, and my dad made a joke like, "What are you doing? You can't sing." And he wasn't being mean. He was actually joking, but I just remember like being so sad about that when I was little, like, but I'm trying, I'm trying.
Hmm.
And so it actually is something that my husband, he's a really good singer. He writes
He
music.
is.
I talk about it on my page all the time that he is just as much JunaBee as I am, as far as
Hmm.
the music is concerned. But when we reconnected, when we got older, he heard me singing and he was like, yo, like, you got a voice. Like, it's a lot different from when we were younger. And from there, he's like, hey, I got some songs I want to try with you. Let's give it a shot. And as I'm singing them, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I actually feel like I sound good doing this. And he felt the same. And so that's kind of where that love for the music I'm doing now came from. I do just have a general love for music as well, just any like hip
Mm.
hop, soul, R&B. But
So
yeah,
is it educating and teaching? Was that first before singing?
yes. So that
Really? Wow.
my mother was a eighth grade math teacher for years, as far as I've ever known when I was younger. And I was an athlete actually growing up. And so my dream as a child
Really?
was like, oh, I'm just going to play basketball or play volleyball, just not really thinking of what life
Mm,
could actually turn out to be like. And so it
mm,
wasn't until high school when I recognized, okay, this is not exactly where I would be able to go in my future. I need to think about what can I do. And
mm,
education from my mother's standpoint was something that I felt like I can do this. I have seen her in a classroom. I've seen the love that she has for her students. I've seen how they love her back. And I just ended up becoming a teacher. I went to school for education. I loved it. It worked perfectly. Just it was something that I really enjoyed. And so that, yeah, to answer your question, that's what came first.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's so untraditional for somebody who can sing as good as you. Like I thought for sure going to be like, yeah, I was raised in a church and I grew up singing forever. Like I for sure thought that was going to be the answer. So how did you end up being so good at singing, even just technically now, even when you felt like you couldn't sing earlier? Was your husband giving you lessons, or was it just practice over time? Like how did you become so good at singing?
It's definitely my husband giving me lessons. Again, he is a naturally good singer. He hears the things I don't. Sometimes I sing songs and I sound so pitchy, or I won't think it's that, but he'll be like, no, it's like, try this note instead. Or how about you slow this down? Let's try these vocal warm ups. So, yes, a lot of that has come through practice with him. But outside of that, also, I guess just maybe maturity. Our voices change as we grow older.
Hmm.
And I think just more practice too. A
Hmm.
vocal coach once told me, like, you just got to sing. The more you do it, the
Hmm.
better you become at it. It's a muscle, it grows. And so, just now in the profession I'm doing, I am singing all the time. And I feel
Hmm.
like that helped in my growth with singing.
Hmm. Wow, you're giving me so much hope. So it's funny. So I'm an athlete too. I Was I got a scholarship to play football here. I played Division 1 football, and I got drafted to the NFL. Played in the NFL for some time, but I'm from LA, and we didn't have the resources to do singing and stuff like that. Like my parents put us in sports because that kept us out of trouble. But I always felt like my gift was performing arts. I always loved to sing when I was young. So the
Oh,
past like 6, 7 years since I've been out of football, I've been trying to figure out how to sing well because I feel like I'm naturally kind of, I don't know if I'm gifted, but I feel like I know what I would sound like because
mhm.
of the things that have I guess inspired me growing up. So now I'm like, oh, Juna B started singing later, and she sounds phenomenal. If I actually practice, maybe I could actually really, really be able to sing too. So I'm asking all these singing questions because you're just giving me so much hope for my own future to be able to sing. So when you got into teaching, what grade level did you teach at?
So I was intermediate. I taught fourth and fifth grade primarily, and that was for about 8 years. So a lot of experience with that 7, 8 to about 10, 11 year old range.
Okay. So how did your time as a teacher and mom shape your decision to create content for kids? Like how did that whole thing happen from school to be like, you know what? Because I know you sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. I know you have kids. The audience doesn't know you have kids. So you have 3 kids. How did this
Mhm.
whole thing shape into teaching to having kids to doing what you're doing now?
Perfect. So thank you for asking. So after my husband and I got married, we were both actually teachers together. We actually worked at the same school, which is such a unique experience. I was a fourth
Mm,
grade math and science teacher, and he was the fourth grade ELA social studies teacher. He worked with me the same year that the pandemic happened. And so that shifted us to being at home as with the rest of the world. During that time, we got pregnant, and I ended up having my firstborn son. His name is Chase. He's 4 now. And once that happened, I made the decision along with my husband to stay at home. It was an easy transition because everyone was at home during that time. It
mhm,
wasn't unusual for people to say, hey, I'm just going to be home, especially not knowing the climate and culture of schools past the pandemic. And so I just became a stay at home mom. And from there, I had 2 other babies, my daughter Cambridge, who's 2, my daughter Shyla, who's now 9 months. And so being a stay at home mom, specifically with 3 little children, I've definitely learned a lot with that primary age group, that like
mhm,
preschool baby, all the milestones. Like as I'm doing it back to back to back, certain things just became like, oh, I know this now. Like I have this experience of working with little children. And so one day, I'm in a bedroom with my son. We were coming back from a birthday party that we went to. And at that birthday party, a lot of balloons were popping. They're really loud. And my son has a sensitivity to loud noises. But so he was really scared about it. And it's just something he just hasn't preferred. And so I'm explaining it to him, just in a way that's gentle and loving. And I'm like, son, you don't have to be afraid. It's just a balloon and balloons pop. And my husband is in the other room and he's hearing this. And I mean, if you could just see his face when he came into the room, it just looked like a light bulb went off in his head. And he's just like,
mhm,
babe, I think I have an amazing idea for you. And so, I'm like, well, what is it? And he's like, you should do this for kids. You should do kids content. This is a space that, is just now getting tapped into post pandemic. A lot more people are starting to do online content for kids at home. And the way you just were talking to our son, this would be perfect. And if I could be totally transparent, I was like, yeah, no, this
nah.
is not my thing. What are you talking about? I've got 3
Mhm,
kids right here at home. This is
mhm,
my
mhm,
space. This is my
mhm,
mission, my ministry with my children. And he's like, babe, you just got to give it a try. Like, what do you have to lose? Think about what other kids could gain from this. You
mhm,
already, got the background as a teacher, as an educator. So you have the teaching style, the methods, you know what it's like to teach. But then on top of that, you have the experience now with 3 little kids. Because
mhm,
he specifically was saying, let's do content for littles. Like just the same way you were talking to your 4-year-old or that you talk to your 2-year-old and 9-month-old, let's do this for other kids. And lastly, he's like, think about the representation. Think about what you bring to the screen. Think about what you bring to other families of color, minorities, or just people in general who are looking for diversity on their screens. Think about what that brings to their home. And so, after those compelling arguments, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll give it a try. Let's see what happens. Obviously, you're going to have to help me out here because I have a little more, background in the upper grades, but let's see where this goes. And
Mhm.
from there, it just took off. I mean, it
Mhm.
was our first episode that we did a while ago. I mean, this was probably 2 years ago now. It just took off. It was very successful. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, that's kinda where that all
And
happened.
was the plan always to do education and tie in music together with JunaBee?
Yes, that was the plan. So, again, something that my husband and I both share a love for is music, songwriting. He's done some music for kids as well. And so, when we were bringing that over to Juna B, it was like, oh, this is definitely going to be a huge component. One thing
Mhm.
about teaching kids at home is you want to play songs that that not only they like, but that you like as well. And so
Mhm.
as a parent, I'd be flipping through channels. I would be turning on my, radio stations, and I'd be looking for the songs that were just like, yo, these are great songs. And I love these songs to the point where I'm singing them all the time. I wanted to put
Mhm.
that out myself. And so that's where
Mhm.
that came from as well. We're like, if we're going to put a song out, we're going to put out music that a parent would be like, well, look, even if my kids aren't around, I might still listen
Mhm.
to this song because it's
Mm,
just that
mhm.
good.
Yeah, yeah, that's such a good point. So my kids are 8, 6, and 3. So my 2 oldest, we miss the like really like the Miss Rachel train. Like my brother's kids are like watching Miss Rachel, and my youngest, my baby girl, she is, I mean, she's a character. So she kind of just does her own thing. And I remember when my daughters, my 2 older daughters, we were be watching stuff on YouTube. I couldn't stand the rhymes. I couldn't stand the beats. I couldn't stand any of it. You know what I mean? Because there was no kind of like catchy hip hop, soulful, even like soulful vocals that is catchy for you to
Yeah.
remember and for the adult to like and the kids. Um what made you believe that music could be a powerful tool for helping kids to learn outside of just doing education without the music?
Mhm.
Because I know that um like you're teaching kids these things like brushing their teeth and going to the potty and stuff like that, and they're all very catchy rhymes that make those exercises fun. Was that something that you and your husband strategically planned out for the music and the content, or how did that whole thing work out?
Yeah. So one thing about music is that music is learned a lot faster than,
Mhm.
just sharing words. If it's something that you can feel, it's something that you can remember, and it's something that kind of stays ingrained. And so when we're
Mhm.
doing music with Juna B, it's something that's like, it's in the soul. Like you could just feel it. You can
Mhm.
feel how something, I guess in the learning experience, it's like, if I'm talking about brushing your teeth, for example, sure, it's just teaching you how to brush your teeth. But if you love the experience of that and you're feeling the vibe and the music, it makes you want to do it. It makes you understand it. And for children, it makes them learn it, wants to repeat it. There's so many things that I'll do with my kids, but whenever, for whatever reason, we talk about opposites, we'll start singing the opposite song because it's something
Mhm.
that, like, oh, we like this song. They feel it in their heart, and so that's where I go with the music. It's something that they feel good about. They like to sing. They like to do the actions, and so that's where the music and learning component come together.
When you think about that, do you feel like this is something that needs to be implemented more in schools now that since you were in school and now you're doing this now? Like I
I'm
know
sorry.
every teacher. I said, do you feel like now, like you were in schools and now you're doing Juna B? Do you feel like this is something that needs to be incorporated more into school? I know every teacher probably don't want to sing to kids, but like if there was some kind of exercise where teachers were doing this for young kids because it is catchy, it is fun, and at the end of the day, they're doing the thing that essentially has helps them have a better, healthier, more
Mhm.
structured young
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, no, I teachers are actually already doing this stuff, and I'm taking it from them. Something that I
Mm.
did when I was an educator is whenever I was teaching, I taught math, right? And so math is very like, at least when I was teaching it, it was just starting to shift over to all these new ways of learning math where you could try it your own way. But songs were just starting to be put out that taught how to do certain formulas or certain steps in math. Anytime that I found a video or a song that could help teach my class how to do division steps or how to solve a multiplication problem, I was like, all right, here we go. Let's do the song. Let's sing it together. And so, yes, I'm just taking from what educators are doing. There's a lot more content being shown in the classrooms that are aiding with what the teachers are teaching. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to put that stuff out there for them so that they can have that in their daycares, their preschools, their kindergarten
Mhm.
classrooms, so that that can be a supplement for them as well.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really, really good point. When you sit down and create, how do you decide what to teach and how to teach it?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I would say, if I'm being honest, shout out to ChatGPT. They
For
help me.
real.
Listen, it's the way of the world now. They have
Yeah.
so many ideas. Typically, what I'll put on there is like, hey, I want to teach something about numbers. I want to teach something about letters. Or, man, I've been doing work with farm animals, but help me diversify that into some other different categories. And ChatGPT will be like, all right, here you go. Based on what you like
Mhm.
and what you do, here's how you can film it live. Here's where you can talk about it here. Here's how you can do a song. Here's how you can.
Mhm.
So that plus, I give a lot of credit to my husband because his brain is something that
Yeah.
I am still trying to understand to this day. If I were to give him a concept, or if he was to think of a concept about, let's just say, numbers, he will literally be like, oh, here we go. Here's a song for it. Here's where I think you should talk about it. Here's how I think we should film it. And boom, let's go put it together. And
Mhm.
from that point, it's just like, all right, here's the episode. Most of the
Mhm.
stuff that I've put out, or all of the episodes I've put out, have been that process specifically.
Mhm. Mhm. And I actually wanna talk about that because I think it can be easy for somebody to get caught up into like, well, you people use ChatGPT, and I think people don't need to understand whether it's in education, whether it's in my creative space, whether it's in whatever you're doing, that ChatGPT is such a good source to get the idea, but ultimately the flavor and the rhythm and the creativity all comes from us. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So when I love hearing your process from ChatGPT, your husband and the way his brain works, then your talent and like molding that together, it just sounds like the perfect thing to get the idea rolling. Because ultimately, there's not gonna be any soul in it without you and him, right? Like, it's
Mm,
hard to come up with ideas because you're solving a really complex problem. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, what
Yeah.
do kids like, and how many things do they need to know, and how can I go about doing that? And then after that, you put all your sauce on it, right? Like,
Yes.
it's
Correct.
perfect.
Yes, with ChatGPT, you said it correct. ChatGPT, it automates the things. It's a
Mhm.
computer, but we are the humans that make the computer work. We are the people who
Mhm.
put the sauce and the flavor. We are the ones that make it such a bigger experience. So yeah, it gives all the information that helps us. And I mean, I feel like things have been like that over time, right? Like before
Mhm.
ChatGPT, there was textbooks you would go to, there was books you
Mhm.
at the library, and no one's like, oh, well, you use the book to teach you how to do it. It's like, no, we
Mhm.
use resources to help us build to the goals that we're trying to do. And we just got to make
Mhm.
it happen in the way that is who we are. So, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Speaking of who we are, well, I know you mentioned earlier that your oldest, he will watch Miss Rachel, right?
Mhm.
Like you will watch Miss Rachel, and then you would see how much he would learn from Miss Rachel and how you gave her props for what she has done. How did Miss Rachel with your son influence your early day for Juna B?
That's a great question. Yeah, so with Miss Rachel, let me actually speak about that real quick. So my son, when he is our firstborn, and as naive parents, we don't know. We're like, is he talking? Is he gonna start talking anytime soon? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? We had him in speech therapy, which is a great tool, to help your
Mhm.
babies learn. And so somebody actually recommended Miss Rachel through that and was like, hey, my baby started watching her channel. They started talking all the time. And when my son was watching her, it was like clockwork. He started repeating words, started saying first words. It was such a helpful tool. From there, obviously, as I'm starting Juna B, I do look at bigger platforms to see, how have they done
Mhm.
it? What things have made them successful? What things have they done that I can take from and learn from and pick from? And I mean, hey, Miss Rachel, she has done it. She's got the platform that says this is what works, this is what kids like. And so, yeah, that's definitely a huge inspiration for what I'm doing, how I'm working, how I speak to my littles at home, because there's so much I learned from her while he's watching
Mhm.
it. and I'm washing dishes and cooking, I saw so much that she was doing that I was like,
Mm,
oh, that's how I can talk about how to like enunciate your words, or here's how I can continuously repeat something that helps to speak. Oh, here's the sign language that we can use to learn, yes and no. And so now when I'm doing my channel, I just have taken those pieces of information and said, oh, this helped my son. Let me make sure that I'm incorporating things like this that can help
mhm,
someone else's daughter or son. And so,
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
super inspirational.
you know what you sound like? You sound like an athlete. Like, what we did is you go look at the best, you watch film, and you apply it to your game. That's exactly what you do, and if you
Mhm,
think about it, we're all walking around doing that. Like, you can easily, say that we're comparing ourselves to one another, but we are. Like, that's just our human nature, so I think to find somebody who does it really well and then take things from their game, apply it to your game, and then ultimately it's automatically gonna be your own thing because you're a completely different person with your own lived experiences, your own culture, and it's going to turn into
mhm,
what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because I remember seeing that you made a post a while ago about, you will refer to yourself as a black Miss Rachel, and people like took, like some people just took, I don't know if I want to say offense to it, because I know that some people were like, this is offensive, and some people were like, don't lose yourself. And I'm just looking at the comments like, are we listening? Are we understanding like what she's actually saying? She's not saying she's trying to be like her.
mhm.
She's giving her respect, and she's
Mhm.
to a large degree grateful for the work that she's doing, and she just wants to
Yes,
be a part of that entire
yes,
process and journey.
yes.
Um,
I
um,
absolutely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I absolutely appreciate you saying that. That is exactly what it is. I'm giving her her flowers. It's all about being inspired by her. It's all about finding the community that are looking for a that's looking for a Juna B. And it's all about, again, learning from her. You said it yourself. Athletes, we watch other athletes and we learn from them. We pick up on different moves that they make, or
Mhm,
tricks that they do, and we're like, oh, I like that and I want to do that for myself, but in my own flavor. And even as an educator, we learned from the moment we start teaching, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You do not have to go and start something
mhm.
completely new. If there's something that already works, do it yourself, but do it in what makes you you. And you said that perfectly. So I just wanted to say thank you for clarifying that.
No, of course. Um, how do you balance like, obviously you are a black curator, you have, a black husband, you have black kids. How do you balance like that? Like, cause I don't know, like, did you go into this space being like, I'm going to here as a black creator for black kids?
Mhm.
Or is it more of like, I am a creator and or I'm for everyone who's wanting to find someone like a Juna B?
Yeah. So when I came into being Juna B, I definitely recognized, yes, I'm a black woman, and I recognize that I love doing things in support of black people, in support of minorities. But I also want to be real and authentic to myself. And I also, again, I do want to speak to every audience, but something that I truly just love and have a natural heart for is our black and brown children. I do. I mean,
Mhm,
it's just
mhm,
who I am. It's in me. It's ingrained in my heart to serve our community. And that doesn't neglect any other community that's out there. It's just like man, I feel like our kids deserve good learning channels. They deserve teachers in front of them that are doing good work. They deserve the best of the best. And as a black woman, I want to give that to our black children. I do.
mhm,
Again, I love all of our children. Juna B wants everybody to watch and learn and love what I have to offer. But it truly warms my heart when black and brown moms message me and they're like,
mhm,
you mean so much to our household. Having my baby, I'm about to get emotional. Having my baby watch you, I did not expect that. Watch you and see you in our home. It just means something to us and our family. So many of the kids I used to teach, wow, okay. So many of the kids I used to teach, they, I could just see it in their face that they would see me and be like, you give me hope. I feel
Mhm.
inspired. Like the fact that you are this young woman and you relate to us in so many ways. Cause I was really fairly young as a teacher when I started, and they weren't much younger than me. They felt like, oh, I want to be like you when I grow up. I can't wait to be a teacher one day. Things that they had never said upon the beginning of coming into my room. But then leaving my room, they'd be like, we want to play basketball like you. We want to play volleyball. We want to sing. We want to dance. We want to have fun. We want to learn. I want to be a teacher. And now seeing parents like, man, my kids love watching you. I could put you on and I
Mhm.
feel like I got auntie on the TV. So my kids are
Mhm.
good. I don't have to think
Mhm.
about, what's going on, what are the hidden agendas, what
Mhm.
messages are being said. No, it's like having sis in the room with your kids and they can just be safe and watch safe
Mhm.
television. So yeah,
Mhm.
again, didn't expect that, but it really means something to me that our kids can feel inspired and see something on their screen that means something for
Mhm.
them.
No, thank you for that is beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing that. It's so cool hearing you say that because I think for me, when I think about my childhood and like going through school, now I can only remember one black teacher that I had who was a woman, and her name was Miss
Mhm.
Johnson. And I can't remember any other teachers who were black in my entire life. And I sometimes I sit and wonder like how much would my school experience be if the people who were teaching me, even if it was a little bit, looked like me and talked like me and understood my lingo and understood the things that I was going through? Um,
Yeah.
I just wonder what that would have been like, because the only time I really had people who looked like me was my coaches, you know what I mean? And like my teammates. And that's obviously good for me, but I think there's something different about having someone educating you with the same lingo, the same the same just who you just can connect to. So I understand like those
Mhm.
moms who are reaching out to you, thanking you because I can't even I can't even like understand how much that would have had an impact on me and the fact that you're doing it so early right now and they can see it. I'm sure I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
tell means a lot to you and it
It
means a lot to
definitely
them.
Definitely does. Representation means everything. Think about it like this. It's a mirror and a window into another world that they might not know exist, right? It's like you said, my experience is similar to yours. I didn't have many black teachers. I had a few, in between different grade levels, but I can only imagine what things I might have thought, been inspired by, been encouraged to do,
Mhm,
been led by, how, my life could have just been so different if I
mhm,
had black educators in front of me that I felt like, oh, you and we understand life just differently because of who we
mhm,
are by our skin color. And so, yeah.
mhm. What do you mean? Can you explain that a little bit more? Even just for myself, like representation, like it's so important. Like I don't really understand that because I can speak of it from a sports perspective of seeing of a player who I want to be like,
Yeah.
based on his attributes. It's so funny because like when you play football, you know these guys, but if you saw them walking down the street with their helmets off, you wouldn't know who they are, and that just shows
Mhm.
that like I want to be like what they're able to do, not who they are, which is a whole
Yeah.
nother thing. So can you explain to me more about what representation means?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So when I was a teacher, every time I would get a new class of students and they'd walk in, I could tell just even before I said anything, even before I opened my mouth, that they felt this connection. I look like their sister. I look like their auntie. I
Mhm,
look like a family member to them. And it just made it easier to connect with them. It made it something where like they almost understood before I even spoke, understood me because they knew I understood them. And there was just a mutual respect. Just again, before I even said, hi, my name is so and so, and let's get into the school year, I feel like they just felt a sense of, oh no, you understand who I am. When you see, whenever we go places and we're out in public, whenever we see other Black families, it's just this feeling of like, oh, okay, there's another Black family
what
here.
up?
We get it, like we feel comfortable. It's just a
Mhm,
natural feeling. It's nothing wrong
mhm,
with whoever else is there, but you just feel
mhm,
this connection immediately when you see that. Um, Even as a teacher, my kids would talk about stuff. They'd sing songs, and I start singing one of the songs that they're singing, or I might talk about a TV show that they're watching, or I might, do a dance move that they've been doing, and they would be like, "Oh yeah, Miss, you know this song too," and so on and so forth. And so Yeah, it's definitely a connection thing. That representation builds connection. And when I'm Juna B, I want families to feel that immediate connection because of who I am as a Black person. And so,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm. So, what has it been like creating in a space that often defaults to whiteness, right? Like, because when you go on YouTube Kids or YouTube, like everybody's white, and this is, if I'm being honest with you, this is like a little bit of a uncomfortable conversation for me because I feel like this can easily get put into like playing some kind of race card, and it never is. Like for me, I'm like, look, this is just what it is. Like when you talk about when you see another Black family and you feel like connected to them, I feel that same way in Minnesota. Like it's predominantly white. I have nothing against nobody, but I am like the only person of color most of the time. And when I see another Black dude or another Black family, I'm like, oh, what's up? Like I feel like, yo, like you get me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is it? So what has it like been creating in a space that often defaults to whiteness?
You know, I love being able to break through into that space. I really do. It's something that like I get joy of being a shining light when a parent is flipping through YouTube Kids or flipping through the YouTube platform, and then they see my face and they're like, "There we go. This is what we've been looking for." I love being able to just be authentic to who I am, how I was raised, my just cultural habits and things that I've learned, the way we speak and talk, the jokes we make. I love being able to bring that. And so it doesn't make me fearful, you know. I recognize that certain people have resources and connections and things behind what they're doing that allow them to be in those spaces. But I just love the fact that God has blessed me to be able to break into that space. You know, this platform has definitely given me and hopefully many others down the line an opportunity or the hope to say, oh, I can do that too. This doesn't just have to
Mhm.
be a predominantly white space. This can be a space where we all can come in, where we all can help, where we all can teach, and where we all can learn. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I love it. I really do. I love that.
Mhm. This question came into my mind as I played the other side. Do you think for people who aren't of color, do you think this can help them as well?
Oh,
Not from like
yes.
the educational perspective, but far as like opening up their eyes, like, oh, there are other cultures and people here, and
Mhm.
they're just as good or better. Or like, what do you think that process is like for people who aren't of color when they see someone like you going on singing so good and doing so well?
Such a good question. I had a coworker that I worked with. She was an amazing teacher. She's a white teacher, and I worked at a predominantly Black school. But let me tell you, when she would come into that classroom and teach those kids, they loved her. Like she would do so much for them. The way she would teach them, connect with them, she really went out of her way to make sure she was serving her kids well. And I just feel like they got an experience from her that the rest of us at the school, you know, we just can't give that experience.
Mhm.
She's white and she's somebody that only can bring that experience from her perspective. I feel like it's the same way when it's the other way around. When
Mm.
I am the Black teacher and I have white children watching my channel, my mission is to serve, right? My mission is to give. My mission is to teach. And so I want to make sure that I am giving them that experience. I'm giving them that, like, oh man, like almost where, not that they forget color, but because they're having so much fun and they're enjoying, they're learning so much, that they're just like, we just like you. We like the person
Mhm.
that you are and what you bring to the table. And so, yeah, on the JunaBee side, you know, good content is is good content. If it's
Mhm.
good, your babies like it, they're gonna watch it, and I'm just gonna continue
Mhm.
to focus on that. So, you know,
Mhm.
kids can definitely pick up on authenticity. They can
Yeah.
pick up on if you're being who you are, and so
Mhm.
that's what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. You said something. You said, like you don't like you didn't say it this way, but I'm gonna say it this way. Like color doesn't really matter when it comes to um things being good, right? Like or the kids liking it. And I think that's such a powerful thing to say because at the end of the day, like I always said, like you're not you're not born racist, you're not born Republican, you're not born, you're not born any of that stuff.
Mhm.
You are taught things. And I think is such a good display of just you in your godly form of just being a baby. And
Mhm.
the things around you are what ultimately make you who you are. And I think what you just said is such a good example of um, being able to just be yourself and the things that you consume. If they're good and you like them, it doesn't matter who's up there. You like it and you rock with it and you're learning from it, and just continue to ride that wave. And I wish that, you know, humanity was more like that and we didn't have to play these games where we're like always trying to divide each other. But at the same hand, I also know that with this division, it's important to honor that. And that's why I believe that you breaking into this space and
Yeah.
saying that you love giving to the black and brown babies and they can see
Mm,
themselves
yeah.
in you when you're up there doing your thing.
Let me just say, I am so proud to be a Black woman. And as Juna B, I definitely want to make sure that I'm authentic. I want to represent my race well and my ethnicity well. You know, God made me Black. And I just want to shine within and be who He created me to be who He created me to be, and serve others with my background. Like, that's my
Mm-hmm.
goal. That's my mission. My mission is just to be who I am, be it well, and just shine that light through that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Hey, you're doing it beautifully, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, well, the way that you do it, like, I think I saw this video like a week ago when your husband told you to do the chicken head on the one of the videos. I'm like, oh my god, it felt good even just seeing you do that, just seeing you do that. I'm like, oh my god, bro, she's doing this, being herself, doing the chicken head, singing kids songs with like her name. I'm just like, it's just so good. You know what I mean? It's so good. So you are being yourself and you're doing it so well. And like even in that video, you can see like, I don't want to do that. And you're like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. And you did it and it was great. You know what I mean? So like even just seeing that, like contemplating like, should I do this? Like, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna
Uh,
do it. And it just turned out great. So you're doing that so well. Um, I wanna we talked about this a little bit, but what's missing when kids grow up without seeing or hearing themselves in joyful, playful spaces? You know, because I think when I think about me as a kid and the shows that I would watch, you know, it was like, you know, PBS Kids and Barney and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where it was kind of educational, but not to the extent that people can just create things and teachers like you can go and create things. So what's missing when kids grow up without seeing or hearing themselves in joyful, playful spaces?
what's missing when they don't have? Are you saying what's missing when they don't have that representation?
Yeah, yeah,
What's missing is me. Juna B.
yeah. That's facts.
That's the best thing I can think of. You know,
Mm,
I recognize what I bring to this space, to this content world. You know, something moms often tell me a lot is like, man, the way that my kid likes to learn now, the way that my kid enjoys what they're watching on TV when they're doing
mhm,
their learning time, the way that they respond now to things I've been trying to teach them for forever, but now somebody else is doing it and they're,
mhm,
enjoying it a bit more. The music that they're learning and how the music speaks to their soul and how they could just
mhm,
get into it, and that's the opposite. That's the opposite. So, like, just singing songs out loud. I think that's what is missing when that's not there. So,
mhm,
I'm happy to be the person that brings that to the table. But yeah, I think that's what's missing at that point.
mhm. So basically, like what's missing is like the culture. Like they're missing like their culture in this space, right? Is that
Hmm.
kind of what you're saying? Because when I think about like, you know, seeing kids, like black kids specifically, like look at the show, like at these YouTube shows, they don't see themselves, they don't hear the music or the
Yeah.
rhymes or the culture or the chicken head or whatever it is. Like they don't have that. And
Hmm.
now they're, would you say they're missing a part of them to some degree because they consume this content so much?
Yeah, I do think they're missing a part of that. And actually, let me go ahead and shout out a couple of other Black women that are in this space. As I'm
Oh,
just thinking
please
about
do.
it, it's, Miss Houston, Gracie's Corner, Monica, Mika, Miss Monica, excuse me, Mika. They're also all doing this really well, bringing that to the table. So shout out to all of them. I am happy to be doing this in the space with them. And I feel like, again, just to draw back to your question, I just wanted to make sure I gave them all a fair shout out. But I do feel like, right now that space is small, but it's growing. And as that space is growing, hopefully more families, more parents, more children will come along to these channels, my channel, and they'll feel inspired. They won't have to suffer on any other
Mhm.
learning things or ways they could be learning, because again, it's growing. More of us are entering those spaces. And so yeah.
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, no, thank you for answering that. Well, man, you said your goal is to help kids feel loved, seen, and lit up. And I think we forget how much that matters because what we hear, what we watch, and what we internalize as kids, like, and it doesn't just teach us, right? It shapes who we become and who we are. So what you do is so important. And all the other women that you shouted out to, like what all of you are doing is so important. And I think about my daughters watching your content and seeing themselves, even just thinking about like, oh, I can do that as a job one day, right? Like it goes that far. So thank you again so much for speaking to me, and thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for authentically being yourself. Thank you for doing the chicken head when your husband doesn't want you to. Thank you for all of it because I know what you're doing, what all of you, when all of your counterparts are doing, is going to make a huge impact on our culture. And I think that breaking into this space is important. And I think you also inspire me and inspire others to go into spaces where there's not a lot of us there. And I
Mhm.
think that's so important. And again, that's not a knock to anybody, any other ethnicity or race. It's just important to be represented. And I think that's something that I've learned just sitting here speaking to you.
Wow.
So before we hop off, like I know you just did your first birthday party a little while ago. I know you do like birthday videos for kids, right? So just tell
Yes.
people like where they can find you and things that you offer and all those things.
Awesome. Yes. So if you, for parents, for kids, if they go to JunaBee Kids, or sorry, it's JunaBeeKids.com. Thank you. JunaBeeKids.com. On there, they will be able to go straight to my YouTube channel to see the content that I'm putting out. There's also links on there where they can book a personalized video. I have different options where they can book like a 60-second birthday video, but there's also a more extravagant version of a personalized video that I could do as well. That one is about a five-ish minute video. But parents who have been booking it, they're loving it. They're loving that feeling of, oh my gosh, you're speaking directly to my baby. I had a parent tell me
Hmm.
once, like, my kid was watching this and you were saying their name, and grandpa comes in the room and is like, wow, how does she know their name? And that experience is just so cool. I think parents have been loving that. Grandparents obviously are amazed by it. And so, yes, they can check me out on JunaBee Kids. That's on Instagram. That's on YouTube. That's also online. And also, before we go, I want to say thank you to you as well said, correct? I just want to make sure I'm
Yeah.
saying it correctly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Thank you to you as well. You gave me so many kudos and praises, but I want to shout that back to you because as a married man, as a father, doing this podcast, like you're doing something that is amazing. As a former athlete, I think that a lot of young men and a lot of young kids out there would also be inspired by you as well. And so I just want to tell you to keep on going with this. I was more than happy to join you on this platform. And I thank you for just, giving me the space today to talk about this.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I'm in with this. Tell your husband, if you want to do any singing lessons with your boy, I'm open. Even if you want to just hear my voice, tell him like just hear my voice and tell me what notes I gotta sing, and I'll be ready to rock and
I
roll.
got you.
So
I
just
got
throw that at him and let him know if he want to catch me on Zoom or something to hear what I'm working with.
you. Awesome. Awesome. I got you.
Everything works out the way it's supposed to, the way it's supposed to, the way it's supposed to.